Thanks for joining me on this tutorial of going over your render settings in Sony Vegas that you can easily upload to YouTube. You may have got into that situation where you went and rendered out a video and went to YouTube and then all of a sudden it was unsupported. So first off, the thing you should do is get familiar with the supported YouTube file formats, and then that will never happen again. So how you get to that is on your page, you go to upload, uploading instructions, supported YouTube file formats. So here is a list of the supported file formats, and each one of these, of course, you could render it in Vegas, so you either get an HD option or you don't. So that's also important, and they don't really go over that, so I'm going to do that right now. So let's get started. So first thing you want to do is locate some video footage, and I have two different video footage. One is HD and one is not HD. And in YouTube, you really want to get that HD, at least 720 settings, so that your videos can be seen at a better quality. And, you know, I like to have mine at 720 at the minimum. Sometimes I will just render a 720 if I don't think that the camera that I shot it with is really going to enhance it at 1080. So maybe I will leave it at 720, especially like this footage. It was shot on a very small, like, handheld digital camera, you know, for New Year's Eve. This footage was actually on a nice HD camera, so I would render this out to 1080 normally for this clip, but you can render multiple different formats and still get the HD setting. Just because it was shot at this lower quality, like I said, you can still try to render it out at 720, just a small portion, upload it, and then see, does it look fine? Am I getting any glitches or dropouts? If you are getting like artifacts which is like flickering, once you upload your video, then you are rendering the video quality too high for the camera that you have. So if that's the case, then just take your lower quality footage and render it at a lower quality setting and split up your high quality footage. If you can't do that, then you're going to have to take the sacrifice and render it out at a lower quality clip. Not the end of the world. At least it can still be up there on the internet. Okay, so I have marked my in, which is I on the keyboard, and out, which is O on the keyboard shortcut. And I'm just going to double click and highlight this so you can see that I'm actually in between these two clips. I have muted the audio, so I am going to render without audio, but make sure that you do not have any of your tracks muted, because then that will mute your track during your render too. So if you had two tracks of video and you had one muted, it will just go cut, and maybe even put black space in between. So be careful with that. Now I'm going to go to render as. If you do not have that on your toolbar, go to File, drop down menu, and render as. Find your location that you want it to be, and then you can just come on down here to all these different options. You can just try to say match my project settings and see if it gives you anything. This scenario, it is not. So if I was wondering, I would just go back. Okay, an MLB, an MPEG-4, an MP4, an AVI, MPEGs. You know, you don't need to try to understand everything about each one of these supported formats. Just try to find one that works for you and your editing program and just stick with it and go from there on out. You just really need a place to get started. I am personally going to use MP4, which this ACC always seems to work good for me. And then it just gives you these really easy options. These are already made into a template for you. So here's the internet 720p. I mean, I could do go at the lower quality and then 480p widescreen. Now, why would I do that? maybe it's a really old tiny video, or if you wanted to just render something out really fast, put it up on YouTube, make it unlisted or whatever, just to have somebody approve it. That's the reason why I would do a smaller version. If this is not your final, and this is just a rough draft and you need approval, you know, take down the quality, and then people will be less apt to even copying it or doing a screenshot as I'm doing once they're playing your video. So until you got the money in your hand, render it out lower, and then once you do, then render it out 1080, and then everybody will just be jumping for joy at how beautiful it looks on their YouTube page. So anyhow, let's just stick with 720, and then you adjust a matter of rendering it out. So you just come to your page, and you go to upload, you find your location of your video, and then you just a matter of opening it. And then it will go through all this. This is not that video. This is a different video that I actually made just recently. But you can fill out all this other information, but that's not really what we're talking about. It's just getting your video up here. Beyond this, it could be a whole new tutorial, and it just won't fit into this. So anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any feedback, please let me know. There are other ways that you could render your video, of course, within Sony Vegas. But like I said, you just go to that file and try to play around with different formats that work for you. So thanks a lot.